The NFL season has officially kicked off. Week 1 is almost in the books, and we've got a lot to talk about tonight. So do us a favor, kick back, relax on this beautiful Monday, because 609 Sports Talk starts right now. Welcome in, everybody, back to another episode of 609 Sports Talk, live here over on Facebook and, of course, the good old YouTube. We are coming to you guys live from Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, this is a show that unites the fans and ignites debate. And so far, I believe every week we've had a very nice debate that has been ignited by something.
Oh, yeah.
But as always, we are your hosts. I am Sam Nelson. He is Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, how the hell are we on this beautiful Monday, September the 9th?
Meh.
Meh? Why are we meh? How can you be meh?
We are meh because we got to wait all the way until next Monday night to see our Philadelphia Eagles play again. That's too long for me.
Yeah, I'm not the happiest guy about that, but you know what? It's okay because look, we had victory Saturday, but it's still victory Monday. It's gonna be victory. It's gonna be victory every day until we get to next week. But we have a jam-packed show. You know, we'll talk some college football week 2 later on in the show. We'll do some Monday Night Football pregame, Niners and Jets. So that'll be a very interesting game to keep a track of tonight. But, you know, lots to talk about. And the first business we have to talk about, we have some NFL news to get into. We're going to recap week 1 a little bit later on, but we have some 2 breaking stories that broke over the weekend. The first one we're going to start off with is Packers quarterback Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love, he suffered an injury. He's a little dinged up. The question has to be that Tyler survive without their franchise quarterback. And yes, I'm aware I'm frozen.
Okay, I was just about to ask.
Frozen.
Oh no.
I am officially frozen.
Oh no, the big head finally froze.
I am officially cameraless right now. So until I figure that out, why don't you give your thoughts on the whole Jordan Love injury?
So first off, let's start with, thank goodness it's not an ACL injury. You know, it was final drive of the game. Jordan Love's trying to make some magic happen, and he ends up getting rolled up. I initially, from looking at it, I thought he rolled up his ankle. Thought there might have been an ankle sprain. But then, you know, watching further review of it, you know, you could see that his knee was bending a little bit there too. So, you know, as soon as they called it a knee injury, everyone was just holding their breath waiting, trying to find out, you know, is this going to be something that's going to be season ending, or, you know, something that's minor and able to come back from. So thankfully the expectation is that I think he's going to miss around, I've seen anywhere from like 3 to 4 weeks. I've seen 4 to 6 weeks. I had to see a bunch of different numbers, but the Packers don't want to place him on IR. They're hopeful that he could possibly return before that 4-week period, so they don't want to, you know, just completely take him off the table for the 4 weeks. But it is a hit for him because they are a competitor in their division and in the NFC as well to, you know, make it into the playoffs and go on a postseason run. They do have the weapons. You know, we saw that in the Friday night game. And even the defense, you know, they can hold up too.
Yeah. Now I'm back. Webcam decided just to completely shit out on me. So
Really
just
interesting.
decided to cut me out. So I'll have to fix that later. But anyway,
Man, if it's not the mic, it's the camera. Jeez,
I give up.
we can't win.
I can't win. But I just can't win. But anyway, so no. What shocked me was when LaFleur came out and just said that he will not be placed on IR. I assume they're thinking it's going to be a 2 to 3 week thing, and they're thinking they can get him back closer to 3 weeks than 4. Because then why would you not IR him? If he's going to be out at least a guarantee of that many amount of weeks, why not just IR him in the first place?
Yep, I agree.
It sounds like they're going to go with Malik Willis for now. I don't think there's an anticipation that Love will play this week. I don't think that's the case at all. But, if he does, I mean, it is what it is, I guess, at that point. So, I mean, they sound optimistic that they can get him back closer to 2 to 3 weeks than 4. I mean, there was no damage to the ACL. I'm assuming that all the MCL sprain is, clearly it's not as severe as they thought. I don't know how, if he's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks, I don't know how he's going to survive it. Like, can they survive without him for those 2 to 3 weeks? What are your thoughts on that?
Will they survive without them? No.
Yeah,
they were not convincing enough in the run game. I get it. Second half, they did better on the ground, but I'm going to be blunt here. Josh Jacobs isn't Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones still did his thing with the Vikings. Run the football, run with aggression. Josh Jacobs, he's solid, he's good. Even the backup that the Packers had seemed pretty solid. Getting some nice gains as well. But I think, and what also hurts them is A.J. Dillon's still out. I would be a little more optimistic about them if they at least had A.J. Dillon back there with Jacobs. Then, I could see them, trying to control the ground game, and possibly they might be able to win a couple while they're missing Love. But honestly, that offense just doesn't scare me and seem legit to me without Love in there. Like Malik Willis, they just traded for him this offseason. He didn't have that much camp time with the team. He's still probably trying to learn the system. They're going to have to dumb down the system. And, Matt LaFleur, he definitely doesn't have an easy offense to run. He's supposed to be this offensive guru. So that's going to be tough on him. He's going to have to try and, find out who he wants his guy to be. Does he want to roll with Malik Willis, a guy who might have more talent but doesn't know the offense as well? Or are they going to call up your boy, Sean Clifford, since he was with the team for a year so far? Sam, come back. God damn it, Sam.
I'm sorry, I'm still experiencing technical difficulties.
It has to be talked about. Or Sean Clifford, who's been there for a year with them, and, might know the system at least a little bit better.
Yeah. And so Anthony's in here with us again. What's good, Ant? I'm just here for the Lamar Jackson talk. I don't listen. I don't have anything to say about him this week. He literally is just unlucky that he got their wide receiver has Kevin Durant's foot. Like, that's really
tight end. Tight
end. I didn't see you caught it. Okay.
He's too big to be a wide receiver.
Who was it?
I was Isaiah Likely.
Well, he was likely out of bounds, so.
Yeah, and he's likely their number one tight end as well. Sorry, Mark Andrews and Mark Andrews fantasy owners.
Here's some breaking news for you. Trent Williams has officially been activated to the Niners active roster ahead of tonight's game. So there's that for you.
Big news. All right. Christian McCaffrey, let's go.
Still got to monitor that. That's something we'll get into later in the pregame.
Real quick, if he doesn't play 100% of the snaps, which I know he's not, he's going to be limited. This man's going to give me more than 7 points that I need. It's going to happen.
And that's how I lose this week. But But yeah, I don't see how. I'm fearing it's going to be maybe a 2 to 3 game rough stretch for the Packers without Jordan Love if he's out that long.
And unfortunately, they lost week 1 against the Eagles. That's going to put them way behind. If they're looking at a potential 0-4, maybe 0-5 start, depending on, are they going to want to rush him back? So, best case scenario, he misses a couple of weeks. If he's ready to go in some limited capacity, put a brace on it. Maybe they say, he's good. Just don't get rolled up on.
Do you really risk that? We've seen teams risk that in the past.
We have. But what you're risking at that point is you can further damage the knee and risk tearing the ACL.
That is true.
So, but I mean, if you got a sturdy brace on there, you might be good. He might be able. He's definitely not going to have any mobility.
No.
But
that's not going to be happening.
They'll try and survive. I mean, the Packers are still a gritty team. They're gonna try.
But but yeah. So real quick, Anthony said, "What's the suicide hotline?"
Anthony. Oh no. Oh man. So yeah, the Giants fans, they're all happy about Malik Neighbors, but they're just very disappointed that they don't have a good quarterback to throw the football to. From the ones that I've spoken to, they're still in denial about Saquon, by the way. They're not admitting it. Yeah, that name right there, they will not say it. They will not admit. They will not admit that they messed up. They stand by the Giants organization and their decision to let him walk.
Speaking of though, to that comment, what's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt?
Want to thank real quickly again. Want to thank Matt and Georgie for hopping on the Birds of the Gridiron Eagles pregame show on Friday night with me. That was really fun.
Oh, you guys killed it.
Thank you. Hopefully, now that we'll be doing mostly post-game shows, they should be on with us a few times for that. So, just someone had to get up very early the next day, so a post-game show this week wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really looking forward to the fact that Saquon Barkley's still an Eagle, and we'll talk about the Giants a little bit later on in the show. I'm not in a mood to talk about them right now. I don't want to go on to that hotline that Anthony just brought up. But anyway, I for one do not know if the Packers are going to be able to coexist without him. I don't know if they. I really don't. Malik Willis stinks. I'm sorry, but he just. Sean Clifford actually may be the better option to start for them, honestly. Anthony, yeah, I feel bad for Malik. People really thought Malik Neighbors could save the career of Daniel Jones.
No, that's not going to happen. Malik Neighbors needs a decent enough quarterback to save his career.
Matt, I still may do it after the Atlanta game because we're going to pregame it on here. We'll already be having a pregame on here for it because here at 609 we're pregaming every Monday night game. So we already have the pregame set up here. I still have a shot at doing a postgame show after the Monday night game. The only reason I didn't do a postgame show this past week is I had to go out to Penn State the next day, and no bueno. Everyone's favorite commenter, Tony, saying Greg Carton on Fox this morning said Love's injury was due to a Jalen Carter cheap shot. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
He still had the football in his hand. The play was still being extended. Jalen Carter was trying to stop the play. He wasn't trying to hurt the player.
Yeah.
Let's just.
We're talking about. We're not talking about the first quarter, second quarter. We're talking about the last drive of the game. And the ball's still in the QB's hands. Is he supposed to just lay there and do nothing? Or is he supposed to go after the quarterback and try and get him down?
Exactly. So, what do you want?
Everyone wants to talk about that. Why don't we just talk about why didn't Love just give himself up? No one wants to talk about that. Why didn't he just give himself up?
Yeah, to give it up.
This is football. I hope everyone still remembers that this game is called football, and they know what the rules of the game are and how it's played. All right, I get it, player safety and everything, but you're never going to eliminate all risk from the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what you're signing up for when you're suiting up and going out there. Quarterbacks would know what they're signing up for going out there.
Yeah. If you don't know by now what you're signing up for, you play the game of football, I cannot help you.
You know who did a great job of protecting themselves their whole career?
Who's that?
Eli Manning. You know what he did? He curled up in fetal position when the pocket collapsed.
He curled up in the fetal position. Why must you do these things?
Not just speaking facts.
Why must you do these things?
So, that's always an option. All right. Anyone talking about, he was intentionally hurt, this, that, and the other? No. Go watch some Eli Manning tape. Go see how he protected himself from getting injured.
Fair enough.
Give yourself
very
up.
Fair.
Give yourself up. Don't got to worry about getting hurt. Unless you're Jalen Hurts and you give yourself up and then, guys just still want to jump over you and freaking launch themselves onto you. But, yeah, we're not going to talk about that, though. No one's going to talk about that.
I'm not going to talk about the offsides penalty that wasn't called on the Packers and the fact that not only did he jump on the Jalen Hurts, he hugged him and
I don't even know what wrestling move I can compare that to.
I could call it a hip drop tackle if you wanted me to.
I don't even know what. He literally flung himself onto him. His legs were up in the air. He was going for a piggyback ride.
Tony's out here switching quarterbacks week 2.
Week 2, oh man. Kirk looked bad, but I don't know about Penix.
Oh, I'll tell you something.
I got week 2.
I kind of got a conspiracy about that Falcons offensive line heading into week 2, so I have an opinion on that for a reason.
I definitely want to talk about that because we were just hyping up that offensive line.
We got a lot to talk about when it comes to that offensive line. But no, I personally, I don't know how the Packers may be dropping they may be 0-3 by the time he gets back because I don't see either of the quarterbacks on that roster that can help them.
I see 0-3, maybe even 0-4.
They're not going to sign Tannehill. They already said that.
No. There's no point. And that's really a guy who doesn't know the system. He might just get a couple of plays down by the time Love's ready to come back. Like, there's no point in doing that.
He's got an expensive backup.
Mm-hmm.
We just traded for a backup.
Yeah, you literally traded for a backup. So,
exactly. So
let him do his job, be the backup. Might not win you any games, but hey.
All you can hope is that you can manage up until he gets back.
Mm-hmm.
But now, let's get into the other big breaking news over the weekend. Before the games kicked off on Sunday, we got breaking contract extension news. The Dallas Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott have officially agreed on a 4-year, $240 million extension with an an $80 million signing bonus. And there is $231 million guaranteed.
Crazy numbers. And yeah, before we get off of the topic of injuries, Matt brings up Puka's out for at least 4 weeks now too.
Yep, McVay said he was going to candidate go on IR, which it sounds like they've already placed him on IR.
Oh yeah, they've already placed him on IR.
So, I don't. It sucks because I love Puka, but
yeah, Puka's great. They still got their number one guy though.
That is also true. They still have their number one guy, and he goes by the name of Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
So Tyler, who wants to go first on the Dak Prescott contract extension?
No, take it away, Sam.
Oh shit, sorry. Actually, I brought Tony Michael Penix's comment back. My thoughts? Jerry Jones likes to sit there and say, I'm not going to cave into these demands. I'm not going to do this. And he does. Here's the problem with Jerry Jones. You and I were talking about this on the way home yesterday. Jerry's just content with what he's been doing for the past 15 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 5 Super Bowl rings. He don't need any more to keep his legacy in his eyes. So he's just throwing all this boatloads of money out to CeeDee Lamb, to Dak Prescott. He's going to sell this team to some Nimrod who's going to take it over, and he's going to leave them with a mess full of contracts.
Yeah.
If he ever sells the damn team.
The way I explained it yesterday was that Jerry Jones knows what Dak Prescott is. Maybe by some miracle, they actually managed to make it past the first and second round of the playoffs. Maybe they actually managed to find their way to a conference finals. But there's just the complacency with Jerry Jones where they don't need to win a Super Bowl to make the team relevant and to make money. All he needs is what Dak has been providing for him for years. Win some games in the regular season, have a winning record. Sometimes you'll win the division or you'll get a wild card spot. You keep the team relevant. Jerry Jones will never let the Dallas Cowboys go into a state of disrepair and need a full rebuild like the Browns, the Jags, what the Texans had to go through. He's never going to let it get to that point. He's always going to keep that team relevant and on the front of everyone's minds, and he's going to be raking in the money. That's how it's going to be.
I just want to acknowledge that Dennis actually called him Blankenship.
Oh, my gosh.
I just want to acknowledge that for 1 second here.
Dennis, I'm so proud of you.
He's still making mistakes, though, he said.
Yeah, not everyone's perfect on that defense.
He was PFF's 4th highest graded safety for week 1.
I mean, he jumped a great ball, read the quarterback's eyes, got a huge turnover that we capitalized on.
Dave Quinyon Mitchell from getting thrown out of the game.
Yeah, save Quinyon. Imagine if Quinyon got himself thrown out that early.
I just loved it because he just grabbed. But the funny is, Cooper DeJean's right next to him doing the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Blankenship was like, man, get your dumbass over here before you get thrown out. I would like to just add quickly for something for tonight. It's very nice that 49ers rookie wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall, who, of course, was supposed to be making his NFL debut tonight, unfortunately cannot due to what has happened. Unfortunately, what really sucks today, he would have been making his debut on his 24th birthday.
Oh, wow.
However, he is present at the stadium, so that's a nice thing, good to see.
Man, just wait till he comes back from, being cleared.
Exactly. Tony said Dak's not even top 5 quarterbacks, and he's getting all the guaranteed to give you 12 wins and an MVP type numbers each year before choking in the playoffs. But that's the thing.
Jerry's fine with that, Tony.
Jerry's content. Jerry's got 5 Super Bowl trophies in his case. He don't need no more.
Because the way that he's looking at it is, I either don't pay him, and I have to go out and either tank to get a high draft pick for a quarterback, or I have to wait until there's somehow a good quarterback on the market and then pay them boatloads of money.
And no good quarterback hits the market.
Exactly. Nobody.
And no, don't tell me Kirk Cousins either.
The best choice for the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones is keep the guy who's been there, who's been getting you 9, 10, 11 wins.
Dennis, we're going to talk about the Birds in a little bit, but just to give you a preview, we all agree about this individual.
Yes, we have some words about him.
But this was the typical Cowboys move. This was exactly what the Cowboys were going to do. They were going to overpay Dak, give him all this money, and now that they're stuck with this now for the next 6 years or 5 years, because Dak was going to be a free agent after next year. So for the next 5 years, it's what they got. And now his contract kicks in when Micah's is up. Good management there. That's great management. Now your best defensive player is hitting the market.
Yep.
Because now, to keep Micah, they're going to have to do one of two things. Either they got to bite that bullet and Micah's going to walk, or they got to get rid of Diggs. Because Diggs will be up for a new contract around the same time. He got one already, but it's going to be up by the time Mike is in. And I'm sorry, are you picking Trayvon Diggs over Micah Parsons?
No.
Because I'm sure as hell not.
Not that crazy.
Yep, Dennis agreed. By the way, everybody who doesn't know, you can check our friend Dennis out over on the 302 Birds podcast now. He hosts a fantasy football show every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. So for anyone who needs some last-minute fantasy updates, answers, questions answered, all that good stuff, information, go check out my boy Dennis. Go check our boy Dennis out over on the 302 Birds. We're good friends with the 302 Birds guys. Dalton does a great job over there. Dennis, of course, they'll be doing their tailgating starting Monday night against Atlanta. Wish we could be there, but unfortunately we can't. But good group of people over there. Great group of people.
Dennis, I need you to drop a prediction for me in the chat. What do you think is a solid projection for Christian McCaffrey tonight with a limited snap count?
Anthony said, "Can we just think for a minute? Was Hill getting arrested? Was that a setup? Was that cop being Jacksonville?"
Oh man, Jacksonville fans, that's crazy.
All I'm going to say about that, because I do not like to speak, I like to use our platforms to give everybody an escape from the world. I don't like. I get real life happens, and when it happens, we address it. But I have no words to say about that situation except disgusting.
Yeah, I still don't even know what happened. Like, what?
I don't need to know what happened. I don't need to know what happened. Bill Gould came in here and said that he has got a monster receiving core on his fantasy team. He also said about McCaffrey, he's expecting a limited snap count. And Dennis did get back to you. Dennis came up and said, limited snap count 8, down to injury due to the shitty field. Ooh.
Hey, 8 points, though, that still wins me this week. And I also got the 49ers defense. So as long as they don't lose me any points, we're chilling.
As long as 2012 Rodgers doesn't show up.
Sam, please stop. This better not be the Rodgers revenge game. This dude just dots their defense up for 400 yards.
Tony said, what kind of salary cap do the Cowboys work under? What they can sign CD and Dak now will have enough money to sign Micah. Tony, they're not going to have enough money.
So
they're not going to.
Technically, these contracts don't kick in right away.
No.
CD still has to play out the rest of his rookie deal. Dak still has to play out the rest of his current contract, and then it kicks in. So they're not going to have cap space the next, I don't even know how many years.
I got breaking news.
Breaking news.
The Cleveland Browns are in agreement with former Chiefs Super Bowl winning wide receiver Kadarius Toney to join their practice squad.
Brother, practice squad. Wow. I'm so glad that a former Super Bowl champion from 1 year removed can make a practice squad. That's great. Kadarius Toney stinks. Another testament to how terrible the Giants organization is.
Bill Gould said 49ers. He also has their defense as well as Debo. So he's looking at my opponent tonight has McCaffrey, Moody, and the Jets defense, and I'm
done. You're toast. No sugarcoating it. You're done.
Dennis said that the field will be the death of the NFL. No, that's MetLife.
No, that's not MetLife. It's Corinthians Stadium in Brazil.
That field wasn't as bad as the Super Bowl one. I will say that, though.
Was it?
Oh, no.
Now, I get, the number one rushing defense that had 70 sacks in a season couldn't get pressure and finish on the quarterback once, but I feel like I saw a lot more slipping and sliding in that Brazil game than the Super Bowl. A ref got hurt. A ref didn't get hurt in the Super Bowl. A ref got hurt in Brazil.
Fair enough.
That has to be the worst field they've ever played
on. Anthony, I don't agree with this comment. I think Derrick Henry is still a very good pick. Got to give it a few weeks to play out.
Yeah, the reigning champ. I am worried that Derrick Henry's only going to get production on the goal line. Now, here's the thing. with Derrick Henry. He'll have some of his signature games. Don't expect it to be week after week 100-yard games, though.
Man, we are flying off the rails tonight. Dennis said Debo needs a reality check. Most unprofessional player in the league. Oh, I thought they were at MetLife. My bad. No, Dennis, you're all good. Yeah, they're in San Fran tonight.
Rogers probably said, "Put me on the road for week 1 this year. I don't want to start off at MetLife."
I would like to play a whole drive league.
Yes.
Bill Gold said the field is supposed to be slippery because of soccer. That's the other thing. Yeah, that is true.
That is true. But but they've played games in soccer stadiums before. They play in Wembley.
Dennis,
they play in when they play the games in Mexico.
Hold on, Dennis. I need Christian McCaffrey not to do that tonight, okay? Okay?
Oh, man. Dennis, I love the optimism. I'm taking it.
Shut up.
I'm booking it. Let me get a blowout win in week 1.
Bill Gould said they need to slide.
They do, but guess what? Our referees do not need to slide. They would have been better off just giving them soccer cleats to go out there with. They're similar to football cleats, but they're a little different.
Oh, God, you're...
All right, Anthony. I'm gonna need you to I need you to sit down, take a deep breath, and rethink that comment.
He did play well, though. For a guy with limited weapons, he did play well. Sorry, you've been mean to me lately, sir. You told me once we get to say you told me. I will make you a promise. I will get you on a show. Okay? I got you. I 100% got you. And Bill Gould said, of course, the Chiefs came prepared with long sleeves that game. Oh, good Lord.
We can't let what Anthony's just said slide.
We're going to get into
Josh Allen MVP?
We're going to get into it.
MVP?
We're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. But, no, back to Dak real quick. The Cowboys just bought themselves 6 years of second-round exits. Dennis, unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I don't know if I'll be able to make it to one this year. Unfortunately.
Yeah, this year might not work out.
Yeah, this year may be a no bueno for me. Maybe a no bueno for me this year. But
appreciate the offer, though, Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis, we appreciate the offer.
Tickets for sale.
It may not be, maybe a no bueno year for me. I will say, though, what struck me the most with Dak, how much, you saw the post, how much guaranteed? So you're telling me he's only going to, if he only potentially loses out on money, it's only going to be $9 million? Yep. That's not even 10, that's like barely 10% of the contract.
Yep.
He said, I know Ravens, shut up saying the rest cheated. No, Lamar just got not good in the clutch time. Well, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't say any of that, right? I don't think the refs cheated them. And I wouldn't even say Lamar's not. Has Lamar performed well in playoff games? No. But he did just lead them down the field to almost win the game, which was unsuccessful by a toe. A toe, not a foot, a toe. We're talking about a flashback of Kevin Durant. Size 22 foot on the line.
Not cool.
Damn.
Not cool. Oh, God.
Yeah, Bill, if you've never been to a game before, man, that Steelers versus Philadelphia, that's probably the one to go to. It's going to be great. That'll be a great game. Is it? Who's home?
I think
It honestly might not matter because the Philly fans will travel.
Dennis, you know what? I'll acknowledge you since you want to make a hairline joke. I'll acknowledge your comment. My hairline will make a better comeback than the Cowboys ever will, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You might be in the same boat as the Cowboys.
And Dennis just answering Bill Gould is that the Philly is home for that Steelers and Eagles game.
Nice. I don't know if the Pitt fans are going to be able to buy them tickets quick enough, honestly.
They travel pretty well to Philly.
Yeah, but if it's at home, them Eagles fans are going to be all over the tickets. So good luck.
Yeah, we don't allow many fans to enter our stadium anymore. Except when Yankee fans come to the Citizens Bank for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And then Judge lights them up.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, man. Look who's here.
It's Georgie.
It's the man, the myth, the legend, our good old friend from the Dueling Aces, which you can catch every Monday night, Mr. George G3. Another one I want to thank for helping out hosting the Birds of the Gridiron Eagles Packers pregame show on Friday night. Had a blast with him and Matt talking some birds. And now Anthony said, "Sir, don't blame likely. Lamar had 2 chances before that play to win the game." Okay. Well, all right, hold on. Since we're already talking about it, why don't we just jump into our week 1 recap?
No.
No? Oh, okay, then I guess show's over. Let's hop into our week 1 recap. We'll get into it starting with the Thursday night opener. The Chiefs did hold off the Ravens 27-20 due to the fact that Isaiah Likely had Kevin Durant's shoe on that night. Tyler, I'll let you go start this off since Anthony and you and Lamar are on the Lamar hoopla.
The Lamar hoopla? What do you mean Lamar hoopla?
Because I'm not talking about him no more. I've told you my opinion. I've been told I was wrong, but I'm not going to get into it.
You are wrong.
Okay. Guys still can't beat Mahomes. Okay.
I came pretty damn close.
Yeah. Close doesn't mean anything in the NFL.
All right. So, let's see if Lamar Jackson was the full story here. He threw 41 times, which is actually shocking. He had 26 completions, threw for 273 yards and a touchdown. Didn't throw any interceptions. He carried the ball 16 times for 122 yards. Then we had Isaiah Likely leading the receiving with 111 yards and a touchdown. Now you come over and look at the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he did his thing. He only threw 28 times. He completed 20 of those. 291 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And as far as them running the football, they really didn't run the football well. Lamar Jackson outran their whole team by himself. Actually, I think he ran for double the amount of yards than their whole team.
Dennis, just real quickly, I saw this right before the show. I am deeply sad.
So, is that all his fault? I don't know if I would say that.
I mean, the defense held Travis Kelce to 30 yards.
Yeah.
It held Patrick Mahomes under 300 yards. They forced the only turnover of the... Oh, no, wait, Lamar did have a turnover.
Well, he lost a fumble.
What else?
Was it him that lost the fumble?
Yes. Again. Now, 273. Okay. He had a... I will say Lamar had a really solid game.
This was a game where you can't fully put the blame on Lamar Jackson.
Oh, no, I'm not putting this. He went toe-to-toe with Mahomes.
He played to win this game. And it came down to the end.
Good. No, keep going. I was going to go after you.
No, that was it.
He went toe-to-toe with Mahomes and lost by a toe.
Yeah.
Literally. No, I'm not. I'm not. This
No,
is
you
one of the
pun
games that Lamar
intended,
Jackson.
Sam. Don't you lie.
Every pun is intended. And Matty would say he almost had 400 yards himself. He did. And Lamar played really well. He honestly probably played better than Mahomes in this game. Minus Mahomes having a higher completion percentage.
Yards on the ground, yeah.
I don't like how mobile quarterbacks don't like. I like how we don't act like their rushing yards mean anything.
That moved the chains.
I don't understand that. And by the way, when Anthony comes back, when Anthony was saying earlier about how Henry's a bad pick, if you didn't go into the season and you picked Derrick Henry and you didn't expect him to have to split carries with Lamar, then you shouldn't have picked him to begin with.
Yeah. And I mean, Derrick Henry, he still got 13 carries.
And
he only had 46 yards. He had a touchdown too. So that he got the carries. I mean, yeah, they're not feeding the ball 20 times. That's not going to really happen much. There might be some games, yeah, but that's not really going to happen.
Exactly. See you later, Tone. Catch you next week, big guy.
Tone. That bum was so bad.
And then Anthony said because
man.
And then he said because they signed Derrick Henry for nothing, he scored, and then went MIA. They got Mark Andrews, a lineman, and not a tight end. And then Anthony also said, Worthy is that guy. All right. I need somebody to arrest the teams that allowed the Chiefs to get their hands on Xavier Worthy. How could we let this happen?
Big mistake.
How could we allow Patrick Mahomes to get the fastest guy coming out of college? How could we allow this to happen?
Oh, yeah. And they
add that to Rasheed Rice, who had a really good game.
He did have a really good game.
Haha, Georgie. My right foot left. Real funny. And Matt said that he told everyone Henry in Baltimore will not work. It's going to be very good for Lamar, but Henry is not an RPO running back. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
He is an under center running back. They're going to have to run more of that. But again, here's the problem.
RPO worked for him.
Hold the phone, though. Let me explain this without you two jumping down my neck. The under center play action isn't going to work if the teams that you're facing doesn't respect the guy throwing the football. I'm not saying that he wasn't great Thursday, but his track record needs to be more than just one game. Can we agree? He needs to be better than just one game.
He does.
So, say for God forbid, and oh my God, I'm not trying to criticize. I'm trying to be realistic here. If he struggles to throw the football after this week, it's not going to matter. Because teams don't respect him still. The Chiefs don't care that he threw for 273. They still beat him. They don't care. He played very well Thursday. He threw the ball well, and he ran the ball like a maniac. He's always done that. But if he continues to improve as a passer, then it can work. But if this is just a one-week thing and it's going back to inconsistency here, inconsistency there, there's still going to be a problem with that. But I agree with Matt. He's not an RPO running back. The same thing we said about DeMarco Murray. You can't put a guy who you're supposed to put under center in an RPO system. It doesn't work. It didn't work with Murray in Philly. It's not going to work with Henry in Baltimore. Dennis said the Ravens game is on their defense. They got to roll enough to have a meeting with Dalton and new co-host. All right, Dennis. Thanks for tuning in, bud. Always a pleasure. I will be in touch with you soon to get you on here. I promise. So, Dad said it was allowed to happen for the same reason. Okay, I'm at it. Dennis, I'm done with you. Dennis, I'm done with you. And Matt actually said I'm right. If Lamar can't throw, how many times are they? Exactly.
No, you gotta read the next comment. Don't get ahead of yourself too much.
What?
Yes, he's not an elite passer.
No, but he's gotten better. I'm thinking
he's gotten a lot better.
Yes. But better means consistent, not one game in week one of the season.
Well, what happened last season? Did he just have 2 good games?
I remember how he was in the most important game. That kind of matters in this situation.
Okay, we'll see if they make it in the same spot this year. We'll see what happens. If he chokes again, then he's in
Okay.
the same boat as Josh Allen.
All I'm
Everyone wants
saying,
to go Josh Allen as this amazing passer. He can't get it done in the playoffs.
Josh Allen's not, okay, but Josh Allen loses games because he's an erratic passer.
I'm not seeing a difference as far as winning the big game there. It still falls under the same category. Can't win the big game. Can't win the big game.
I agree. Like, Allen is a consistent passer. Allen just he doesn't make those big throws. Like, I know that they like to get on Bass for missing that field goal last year. Josh Allen had digs on a few plays that he should have hit him with.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're telling me who do I want as a passer, don't you ever put Lamar Jackson in the same talk as Josh Allen. Josh Allen's got an absolute cannon off his chip. Now, either way, I'm still taking Allen as a passer. Now, though, let's talk about Friday night, and then we'll get to Sunday. Friday night, it was fun. Eagles go down to Brazil. They escape healthy, intact, and they leave Sao Paulo with a win. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
Now it's bird time.
My thoughts are never go back to that stadium and that field ever again.
Matt, what do you have to say? Matt has something to say. I kind of think I know what he's going to say. But Tyler, continue. Yeah, the floor is yours.
So let's break it down. Final score, well, it was 34-27, right?
34-29.
29. 34-29. It was a solid game. It wasn't perfect, but it was week 1. All right. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Defense early on looked amazing. They kept the team in the game when the offense was still trying to find its footing. Couple of bad decisions by Hurts. The opening drive just decides that I could squeeze this into Devontae Smith with 2 guys around him and another one lurking. That was a bad decision. And then the miscued snap. That's on Juergens and Hurts. But after that, they seemed perfectly fine. The chemistry was there. They had the one miscue. Week 1 jitters, but they didn't let it get to them the whole game. They stayed focused and they did their thing. We saw the new offense under Kellen Moore, and Jalen Hurts' numbers on motion plays were amazing, and his stats from the pocket were amazing. The run game with Saquon Barkley looked amazing. Incorporating Saquon into the passing game looked amazing. Now, it's amazing to say that everyone says, this was an ugly game, which it was. It seemed like an ugly win, but I was coming into this season saying what I expected this team, I expected this offense to score 30 or more points every week. They did it, but it looked ugly, but they still did it. So if they clean up the game a little bit, and we already saw them score 34, well, what are the new expectations? Are they going to be scoring like 40 points or more?
They could.
Like, we had 2 interceptions, almost a third interception that A.J. Brown saved. I don't know what that pass was. The only other bad pass that hurts me since the Devontae Smith one. That end zone interception.
Okay.
A.J. Brown was open when Jalen had to scramble the pocket, and Jalen waited for him to make the cut back across to the middle of the end zone, and A.J. Brown slipped. If A.J. Brown didn't slip, he was going to have a jump ball with a smaller defensive back. I'm taking my chances on A.J. Brown getting that ball out of the air.
The only 2 things I will say on that second interception that is on Hurts, Matt can say he doesn't care. Well, here are the facts. He did wait a split second too late to throw the football. And number two, he threw it across his body.
That is true.
When you throw the ball across your body, and I don't care what you want to agree or disagree with me about, it's going to end up bad because it's not ever going to be as accurate as you want it to be because you have to throw it across your body.
But we'll never know.
At minimum, AJ's going to save that play. I don't care, though. At the end of the day, you still cannot turn the football over 3 times. I don't care whose fault it is. As a team, because here's the thing. I was hoping last year with this was a fluke, and it's still an issue into week 1. You can't turn the football over 3 times a game.
Into week 1. All right? Well, what happened with the fumble? Miscommunication. That's going to happen.
Yes, but I'm not talking about Jalen. I'm talking about last year.
I'm talking about the team as a whole.
Because last year, this team turned the football over entirely too much, and it's still happening. That's the one concern I have here.
It happened week 1 after they didn't play most of their starters in preseason. This was their first actual game. No preseason. All they did was practice and scrimmage. It's a different beast.
Okay.
And what did they do coming out of halftime? Aside from was the second interception, the end zone was at the end of the first half or into the second half?
Which one?
The one where AJ slipped.
I feel like that was.
I don't know if that was end of the second quarter or if it was throughout the third.
It couldn't have been the third because AJ scored on the other side of the field.
Okay, but anyway. The second half of the game seemed a lot more cleaner. Guys were clicking. Yes, Jalen Hurts almost threw it away, literally. And A.J. Brown saved it because if A.J. Brown didn't save that, that's an interception, and that changes the whole course of the game. They probably lose. But aside from that, once he saved that, Hurts locked in. We actually saw him go back to his old ways, running out, not giving himself up, fighting for extra yards, and leading them down the field to win. So it wasn't a perfect game by Hurts. It wasn't a perfect game. The only person who had a perfect game was Saquon Barkley.
I'm sorry. Did my wide receiver 1 not have 120 yards and a touchdown?
Here's the thing about that second interception, all right? And hopefully we can leave it at this. No one's going to ever really know how decent or good of a pass that may have been because there was no receiver that was ended up being in the area to catch it. If he never slips, who knows? It might have been a perfect pass, and we might have all been like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Third cross-body perfect pass that only AJ could get. We'll never know because it never happened.
All I'm going to say is this. Last year, your defense had a lot more veteran talent and a better pass rush. This year, there's some parts of the defense that are younger and cannot be put in those positions. Stop turning the football over. I don't care whose fault it is. Stop doing it. I don't care. I'm okay with week 1 things that were an issue the year before. They turned the football over consistently all last year, and it's carried into week 1. That could be a concern. That there's a new OC, and we're still turning the football over 3. We still turn the football over 3 times. Because also, the other thing I also want to stop hearing, stop giving me this thing with the Cam Jurgens thing. They were working together for 2. He's been on the team now for 2 or 3 years. He's not a rookie. He's been on the team for 2 years. You can't tell me. I don't care where he plays.
First year in the NFL playing center.
Because also, you're forgetting something. Not only did he fumble the one in the first quarter, they also almost fumbled the one in the fourth quarter at the goal line because they stopped running it. Now, you just found out week 1, it's over.
That's
it doesn't work now.
I agree 100%. It's over.
I
was the one who always said I didn't think it was going to work out still. I always truly believed that Jason Kelce was the most important part of that play, that only he could do it. Because if anyone could do it, why weren't other teams able to replicate it exactly? The leverage that Kelce was able to get literally created a hole through the middle of everybody for Jalen to go through. I don't know. Only Kelce was able to replicate that. I have no idea how he did it. The man's a legend. But
Anthony,
it's done. It's over. We don't need
Anthony, what's your other former Raver player thing? Put in the comments. But no, yeah, exactly.
Oh, Matt's got a great question. Saying, why were we calling for Jalen Hurts to be benched after the fumble?
Oh, I don't know why we're calling for. I don't know what we're calling for that for. You want us to watch?
Why did you call for that, Sam?
I didn't call for it to be.
You called for that, Sam. Do I have to give verification from the how many other people that were there in the room?
It was a joke.
Yeah, okay.
But there were idiots actually calling. I saw people calling for Tanner McKee. I saw it. Because the Tanner McKee's my backup. I don't know who your backup quarterback is, but he ain't Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett doesn't exist on this team.
No, he's just there.
He's still in Pittsburgh.
He's just a made-up guy.
He's still in Pittsburgh.
Exactly. He's still in Pittsburgh. Yeah, you want to bench Hurts? Go bench him. All I'm saying, like I said, all I'm saying is if we continue to turn the football over consistently, we're going to have to start talking. Because, oh, boy. Oh, Georgia, we ain't crying. We walked away with a W. I'm not crying about nothing.
We're just critiquing.
I walked. What's up?
We're just critiquing.
Oh, yeah, I'm just critiquing.
Oh, yeah,
all
Matt,
I'm saying is, all I say is, like I said, you may not think it's a big issue, but when you have a reputation last year of turning the football over and it's still happening, that means there's something that isn't fixed yet. That still means there's something that's not fixed.
There were a lot more positives than from last year.
I know that.
Last year I saw guys confused, not knowing what was going on. What I saw this week was week 1 jitters. Now, if we go into week 2 and we have another 3 turnovers, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to vilify them and carry on from what happened last year into week 1. If it happens again week 2, then we can have this conversation.
And also, add something else to that. Week 1 in a completely different country.
In a different country, on a shitty field.
Matt, I'm sure it's a bigger than a small problem, but what is it? But my thing, let's see what happens on Monday night against Atlanta. And then we'll talk about that again. If it continues to be a problem, the one thing I will say about every single one of those turnovers, it did not bother that offense one bit.
No. And even Hurts,
this is true.
Locked in.
This, though, this is true.
Yes,
he does.
I can agree. There are some moments where he tries to do something that he shouldn't.
And what they're giving you.
That's what I wish he would do. He needs to go back to, okay, if it's there, take it. There were a couple of times where I saw that he had guys open short in the flat, 5 yards. They could probably even turn it up for more yards because of how open they were. That's not his first read. That's his last read. So he's going through all of his reads still. Don't go through all of your reads. If you get the completion to him and you get a first down, that's a win.
Anthony, we're going to talk about this in a minute.
Oh, man. How J.K. Dobbins went off because he wasn't on the Ravens anymore. With how often those running backs got injured on the Ravens teams, it's very questionable. Very questionable.
Matt, great point. Yeah, exactly. Just go back to give what the defense gives you. If it's 3rd and 8, you don't got to throw the ball 40 yards downfield. Give 5 yards. You're telling me you can't convert 4 and 3? And
there were a couple of times, too, where we saw he had a lot of open space to run, but he was still looking down the field for the big play.
Yeah.
So, I will just say some small things.
He did make his better reads because I'll tell you, the Saquon wheel route, Saquon was not his first read.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. But honestly, I think that wheel route, I honestly actually think that is how the play is designed. Saquon's supposed to be the target on that play. The way that they bring the guys in motion to try to cause confusion and then get Saquon in a one-on-one, I think that play was drawn up for Saquon.
It was. And Jalen executed perfectly. He faded to his right, kept going. He got open, done. So, here you go right here. This is what Jalen Hurts' numbers on plays that involved motion on Friday night. He was 15 of 21 for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Those are his numbers. And also, I don't have the numbers.
Could do for you.
Also, another area he really improved in when they blitzed him on Friday.
Yes.
He looked amazing against the blitz. Everything about Jalen Hurts was great except outside of the pocket. He did not complete a pass outside of the pocket.
And offensive line looked amazing. Mekhi Becton, he's just that dude. You can put him anywhere on the offensive line. He's going to block the sun out. Jordan Mailata, as expected. Lane Johnson, as expected. Lane Johnson, in my eyes, still did not give up a sack. That is complete BS that they allowed a guy to line up in the neutral zone and then the other guy to jump off sides and just no flags. No one saw it.
There you go. Matt got the numbers.
No one saw
There's his numbers against the blitz.
7 for 8. Yeah, the way that he was able to get the ball out quick and make those fast reads against the blitz was very nice to see. Very impressive.
Yeah. Devontae Smith again, big catches down the stretch. I'll tell you now. I know I've been getting on Hurts a little bit in this episode with the turnovers. That last drive, money throw after money throw to Devontae Smith. And then he's putting some balls on AJ where only AJ could catch them, right in his waist, right in his hands. Hurts had a lot more positives than he had negatives. Like I said, let's see what happens on Monday night. If the turnovers continue to happen, then there's going to be room for concern. But right now, I got out of Brazil healthy with a W.
Yeah, that's another thing. Maybe there was a part of Hurts that didn't want to scramble outside of the pocket because he saw what was happening. We saw Jordan Love slip a couple of times scrambling out of the pocket.
Every wide receiver they had slipped at least one.
So, maybe he was just like, all right, this isn't a good idea. Let me try to stay in the pocket, work from there, because I don't want to end up scrambling out, slipping and falling.
Matt, Jair Alexander was legally destroyed by A.J. Brown. I care less what he got away with. But going back to your Mekhi Becton thing, Mekhi Becton in his debut as a right guard with a new system, 0 pressures allowed, 0 sacks, 0 QB hits, 0 hurries. Jeff Stoutland has done it again.
Mm-hmm. And aside from the miscue fumble between Jurgens and Hurts, they were on the money the rest of the game. Only had, I think, one time where the play clock may have gotten down to 2 seconds. Other than that, they had no issues.
Agreed.
The line looked great. Run game, pass game.
The offense was as advertised.
It is. Kellen Moore's offense is as advertised. A legitimate offensive coordinator. Yeah. The motion works.
And that's what I was saying. If you go back and you look at the situation with the offense, every turnover happened. Yes, it never looked to bother them.
Nope. They were just like, all right, missed out on this one. We'll get them next time. 65% motion on Friday. Good. Keep it like that.
Please, keep it like that.
I want to see between 60 to 70% of the plays in motion.
Exactly.
Because, 1, it allows you to read the defense if they're in man or zone, if you have someone chasing across the field. 2, it causes confusion. If you can cause that couple seconds of confusion between those defensive players, that's how you get open guys. That's how you get first downs. Move the ball.
Well, the Saquon wheel route, it was Dotson in motion. The guy who's been here for a week.
Yep.
Which, by the way, why do I feel like we have not spoken about number 26 at all yet?
Because we're saving the best for last.
Well, on offense, because I'll tell you right now, this man right here, yes, I'm green screening out for a reason.
That's Sam's man.
This man was as advertised. Saquon Barkley was everything we could have imagined and then some. 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. Tyler, do you have anything to say about the man?
He is the man. Welcome
back. Gainwell had a couple decent plays.
Gainwell doesn't gain well on kickoffs. We know that. Once Isaiah Rodgers comes back, he can regain those duties.
Hopefully, Rodgers will be back Monday.
Gainwell, you're right, did have a couple of big plays where he was able to move the chains in the passing game as well. So Gainwell, he's a solid running back too. I think he'll secure that job. I don't think Shipley's going to take it from him.
Agreed.
Maddox, there's a whole book of Maddox, man. First off, he was never even supposed to be the starter. He wasn't supposed to be out on the field that much. Isaiah Rodgers going down really put a hanker on everything. Maddox just isn't that guy anymore. I saw him getting picked on time and time again on Friday. He only, I think, had one decent play that I saw where he contained his guy. The guy would have actually, if he caught the ball, would have been a completion. He just wouldn't have got any extra yards, would have been out of bounds after that. But the guy dropped the ball, so I guess, yeah, good job, Maddox. He did good. Other than that, he just doesn't look the same. He doesn't look good. I don't want to see him on the field. I really don't.
Neither do I.
Like, they brought him in late as an extra depth piece. It's not even like they planned on keeping this guy. They literally released him and then brought him back in because they needed more. Like, this guy, Maddox, isn't he supposed to be a substitution safety on the roster?
He was, but again, Rodgers' injury kind of threw their whole game plan off.
Exactly. So hopefully we got everyone back healthy next week. I would love to see the combination of Devin White and Burks. Burks is just very impressive.
Oh, my God.
And
we actually have breaking news.
Oh, my gosh. Actual breaking news.
This is perfect. I actually got a text. I got a text. I had to confirm this first. First, let me get Matt's comments. Did y'all notice how slow he... Oh, Matt looked really bad on Friday. Matt, we're going to get into the Eagles defense right now after I report this. And I'm glad Tyler's looking down because I can't wait to get his reaction. A new civil lawsuit has been filed today in Houston, accuses Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson of sexual assault and battery in October of 2020 when he was still a member of the Houston Texans. A new civil lawsuit has now been filed.
Is he just known in every massage parlor within a 50-mile radius of Houston?
If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I am begging the NFL. They should be allowed to void and not lose anything on that contract.
They would need him to be found guilty of something for them to do that.
No.
Actually, no, because they can be. Oh, what is it called? Detrimental misconduct, I think, is what
this is ridiculous.
As. If they feel like the player has done something detrimental that affects their organization as well, being associated with him, they can void his contract. So if it gets to it, oh man, Browns fans, you may be seeing Jameis Winston earlier than you thought.
Nick Sirianni made a good point today. He did say the Eagles haven't had a true home opening game in 4 years. This year, Brazil. Where'd they open last year?
Last year, they opened...
New England.
They were home against New England.
No, they weren't.
They weren't home? Oh, that's right. They're on the road. Home against the Vikings. Yes.
They opened up 2022 in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened up 2021 in Atlanta. Wow, we really haven't opened at home in almost 5 years.
We can't get a week one at home.
Matt, that's true, but he's been better than him ever since they got traded. Ever since Watson got traded to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yep, George, they're screwed. But before we move on to the rest of week one, let's talk about the Eagles defense. I'm starting this with one thing and one thing only. Quinyon Mitchell is a stud.
Yep.
I honestly don't think we have to talk about anything else. But Quinyon Mitchell.
We need to talk about Burks.
That is true, George. The Browns do tend to lose their home opener a lot. And yes, we did see they signed Tony. My God. But yeah, Quinyon Mitchell, stud, lockdown. Christian Watson had nothing to do with that game on Friday because him and Darius Slay were on fire.
Zach Bond, too. Zach Bond was all over the field. Zach Bond, he was all over the field.
Oh, my God. And Nakobe Dean had a really good game, too.
He did. Nakobe Dean had a very good game. He just became the villain by dropping a pick six.
Oh, my God. I want to go so bad. Oh, yeah. And you heard Matt. I remember you said something to me about him talking trash. I want him to. Let him. That's his game. Let him do it.
Mm-hmm.
Flag me for 15 yards. I don't care.
Yep.
But, yeah, Eagles defense, they did allow some big plays. But you know what? They didn't allow a touchdown in the red zone.
Oh, yeah. As soon as that ball got in the red zone, it was a wrap.
And they saved the offense twice.
Mm-hmm. They kept us in the game in the first half.
Yeah, they did.
If they didn't get those stops and hold them to those field goals, we wouldn't have held.
No. They made the plays when they had to. Reed Blankenship looked really good.
Yep.
I think CJ looked okay. He did struggle a little bit. Like that Reed touchdown, that long one, that was a little bit on CJ. He was way too far back for that. He was the only man on that side of the field. He can't be playing that far back.
And there was another moment. I know you're going to hate me for saying this, Sam. Quinyon Mitchell got caught peeking at the quarterback too long in zone coverage, and he lost his sight.
He did.
But other than that, he played a great game. Amazing.
That one pass breakup, I still can't get over it.
That pass breakup was perfection. Like, it's so hard to come back on those routes to stop them when they're running those comeback routes to the sideline. And he just read it perfectly, got there right as the ball did, knocked it out.
Matt, there's no disagreement here. Yep, yeah. Georgie. R.I.P. to James Earl Jones. I'm sad. Yeah. I'm just sad over that. But yeah, I think that the Eagles' defense in a whole, they played really well. I just think they played well more than what the numbers said. What's up, Steven?
What's up, Steven?
The only thing I will critique, though, is can somebody get to Jordan Love? Where was the front, man?
The pass rush still is very concerning. We all knew this might have been the case. Hopefully it's something they can adjust and change up. But, Zach Bond got you. Was it the only sack of them? No, aside from the sack against Malik Willis. Wait, no, he had 2 sacks. He had both sacks. And the only 2 that I can think of. Were there any other sacks?
No, there wasn't. Steven, because he's not going to let them do it. They've already got Bohm out on the IL. They just put Edmundo on the IL. JT just banged up his knee. He's not going to let them. Oh, he will ride this out. It's crazy. I agreed with you last week when we talked about it, but he's not going to let them do it. Oh, man, pressure. Honestly, yeah, Jalen Carter did show a lot of pressure. Jalen Carter actually had a solid game. And against the run early, Jordan Davis and them were looking good. Then toward the second half, but eventually you're going to get tired, and you're going to allow some rushing yards.
Yeah.
But Carter was getting double-teamed the entire game. He actually looked really good. He did. But that's the thing. He's 300 pounds. He's not built to be a speed edge rushing defensive tackle. My edge rusher's like, I'm sorry, Bryce Huff, they're paying you a pretty penny to go get the quarterback. Didn't do much of it.
All we can hope is that it was the field conditions that were hampering them from being able to, get those finishing moves and to beat their guys. Sack Bond for now on. I can get on board with that.
Or the James Bond.
Oh my gosh.
I'll defend this. I will defend that for Bryce Huff for 1 week. I will give that to BG. I will give that to Nolan Smith. I will tell you this now. I was done with him last year. I'm done with Josh Sweat. He stinks.
Georgie, field conditions were worse than my yard.
This were worse than my yard. And I got a giant sinkhole in my yard. Here we go again. Nothing, Anthony. He was there doing his job.
Yeah. You have to remember.
Oh, my God.
That Jordan Davis is the definition of a nose tackle. He's a run stuffer. He occupies offensive linemen, keeps them busy so that other guys can get in there and do their thing. That D line held up against the run pretty well.
They did. Matt makes a good point here. I'm not crushing Bryce Huff. I'm crushing Josh Sweat. I don't give a damn about that.
Yeah. Now,
Anthony, to be fair, I've had to answer that question about 60 times this offseason.
Yeah. And also,
so apologies if I took it out on your question. I'm sorry.
I like to evaluate the players after a few weeks. If you're not performing for me after like 5 weeks, Bryce Huff doesn't have at least like a couple sacks within 5 weeks, then there's a bit of a problem.
So Steven, real quickly, I wanted to get to this earlier. He said the team is banged up, barely floating above the teams that are closing in. Steven, I'm not. They just had a really good stretch. They lost 2. Okay, it's baseball. It happens. And then Steven has another question. He's like, opinions on Ford taking over while Chubb is gone. Do you think Chubb goes back to his 2022 version? I don't know, honestly.
So, I will try to answer that. We all know when players tear their ACLs, right? It was an ACL he had, right? Yeah. They took his knee out on that. I still remember that play. That his freaking knee just bent inward. Whenever you're recovering from an ACL injury, now granted, he had a lot of time to recover. You know, he got hurt early on in the season, but usually we see it affect guys' speed. Nick Chubb's not a super speedster. He's quick, but where he gets you is his strength. How powerful of a runner he is. So, you know, was it the same injury in college as well?
Yeah.
Maybe a different knee, but still, if he was able to recover from it from college, and we still saw how good of a runner he is, I mean, you don't really hear about it affecting guys' strength of running. You know, more so you just hear about it, you know, guys are never the same, the speed. They're not as fast as they were. So I don't think it's really going to hamper him too much. He's a great runner. He runs strong. He runs angry. He's always going to get yards. And, I mean, Cleveland's still got a good offensive line, too. I mean, there's a clear distinction. Like, Ford tried to hold it down the best he could last year. Ford's a receiving back. He's really good at receiving the ball and making plays out of the backfield. He's not a traditional running back. He is not Nick Chubb. They need the tandem of Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford out on that field for them to have any hopes of competing in their division, especially with everything else going on. Because who knows what's going to go on now. Yeah, like Matt just said, yep.
Yep. And we saw all of Barkley's power on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Adrian Peterson have a 1,000-yard season for Washington? I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he rush for 1,000? Did he rush for 1,000 when he was there? Hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull that up. But, you know, since we're moving on and talking about Nick Chubb, do we want to move into the Week 1 game?
Yep.
Okay, so do you want to start with the Browns and Cowboys since we're already on that subject?
Might as well. Let's see. Adrian Peterson, Washington. Yep, his first year there.
Stop. Breaking news.
More breaking news.
49ers running back Christian McCaffrey is inactive tonight.
You're lying to me.
Per Mike Garafolo, he will not play tonight.
Bro, well, they had to wait until 7 o'clock on game day to tell me this. Who the frick am I going to pick up? Who am I going to
Elijah Mitchell.
drop?
Go get Elijah Mitchell.
Dude, I think someone has Elijah Mitchell. If no one has him, I'd be shocked. But
go
if
get
he's
Matt
active,
Breida.
I am getting.
Go get Matt Breida.
Honestly, if he's out, Elijah Mitchell and Matt Breida might both get snaps.
I may have just won my fantasy matchup.
Oh man! All right, Sam, continue on. I gotta deal with something real quick.
Tyler is officially depressed.
Oh my gosh!
And this is why I didn't take CMC in back-to-back years.
Oh man!
Oh, Tyler, Matt Breida's not even on their roster. I'm sorry.
Wait, who's on San Fran?
Oh, by the way, Elijah Mitchell's on IR too, by the way.
Oh, so is it this Mason guy, Jordan Mason?
Or it could be Keyshawn Vaughn.
Wait. Who's been there longer?
Keyshawn Vaughn's been in the league longer.
Been in the league longer. Who's been on the team longer?
I don't know.
I need to know which bum is going to get me more rushing yards.
Where's Dennis?
Dennis, get back here.
No, ask George.
My gosh. Let's see, Mason. Reports of Mason challenging Mitchell for the second spot on the depth chart actually predated Mitchell's injury. So this guy Mason was actually
he's hurry up.
Passing down skills too. Oh, really? You know what? Going with him. Add him in. I wish Jordan Love was already IR'd because then I would have an extra slot on my team. So now I have to drop.
I know I can't even do anything with it now.
Hold on. I can't drop anybody? Dude, because they already played, I can't drop anyone. I actually hate ESPN Fantasy Football.
By the way, Matt wanted to bring this up. Reed Blankenship versus the Packers. 3 targets, 5 yards, 0 first downs allowed, 1 interception, 5 tackles, 30.6 passer rating allowed, and 89.7 grade, which was the highest on the team. And Georgie said go with Mason, but it doesn't sound like you can.
I'm screwed. I have to drop the 49ers defense or Christian McCaffrey. Not doing either.
So here
I'm honestly going to this is how many points I need to win this week, right? I need 7, let's just say 8. 8 points flat, and I'll win. Possibly I can get that just from the 49ers defense alone. Possibly.
Christian McCaffrey tested his calf today, and it didn't feel right. The 49ers wanted to err on the side of caution. He'll be inactive tonight with the hope his calf issue will quiet down.
You have told me this yesterday. Oh, my gosh.
Matt, Christian McCaffrey is inactive tonight. That's what you missed.
And I can't even put anyone, can't even IR anybody. Because Jordan Love's just listed as doubtful because they're not putting him on the IR.
And it is why, Jordan, that's why I use NFL software.
Anybody. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Matt's got in too. Oh, my God. You guys all have bad luck.
Yeah, you're locked in too, aren't you, Matt? Can't put anybody
and George
else.
Said it's week 1. It's week 1. Take
the
L.
I know I'm not getting it back. I'm taking
Georgie,
the L.
You need to understand. He lost Nick Chubb week 1 last year. Or week 2 last year.
It was week 2.
Yep. I can't remember. Okay, listen, buddy.
Yeah, I'm taking the L on that one. Man. If San Fran wins me the game, they win me the game. If not, oh well. I just need 8 points from San Fran. If I can get 8 points from their defense, I'm good. But wow, all weekend I was like, there is a solid chance that because he's playing Monday night and he doesn't play, I'm screwed because it's gonna be too late.
Well, unfortunately for you, CMC is out. But fortunate for us, Burnsy's here.
What's up, David?
What's up, Burnsy?
I'm just sad over here.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
You should have just kept it a secret, Sam. You ruined my night.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Well, you still have to do some pregame stuff for that game too. So good luck. But anyway,
I don't want to. Let me just talk about how much that Mason guy is going to go off. I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. He's going to finish with like 20 fantasy points tonight.
You're going to text me during this game, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be like, thanks, ESPN Football, for not allowing me to drop an underperforming player that already played this week. Like, what is the point of that? If I want to drop somebody, let me freaking drop them. But
honestly,
they're
right?
so I can't drop them. Okay, cool. So now I'm screwed. Thank you. Appreciate you. Damn.
That's great.
Those slackers.
Thank you, Bernsey. We're very happy over here. Got a big win over in Brazil. But
Matt,
let's jump into week one. Let's
I
talk
got a
about
quick
something
question for Matt.
from
Matt, do
all right.
you have any other guys going tonight, or is it just you were all hands on deck with CMC to win your week? I at least have some hope. I'm down 7.7 points, something like that. So if I could get a solid 8 out of the Niners, I can win. I can win.
Crescent City into the fantasy football world. He is out of here. Oh, he's got the Jets defense too.
How many points are you down?
That's a good question.
I mean, these are two defenses that can both generate turnovers, which means that they could finish around like 7 or more fantasy points.
I am now just to let you know that I am currently up 113 to 83, and my opponent still has the Jets defense and Jake Moody. So
Matt's screwed.
Yeah, Matt, you're screwed. Sorry, bud.
You know what, though? This is going to be a great testament of how good Brock Purdy is. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about for the pregame. Cool. A lot to talk about.
I figure we would pregame the last game of week one last.
Yeah.
But all right, let's jump in. Let's get into all these week one games because there was a lot of them. Hold on, I'm messing up with comments here. Sorry.
George says, so you're saying the Jets have a chance to win?
So let's start off with the first game that's on my lineup here. The Pittsburgh Steelers headed down to Atlanta and spoiling the Falcons' home opener with an 18. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't win this game. Chris Boswell won this game.
How many field goals was it?
6.
6 field goals. Impressive.
I will say
you're telling me that the Falcons defense held them to 6 field goals, but they still couldn't win the game.
What's up, Alex?
Thank you, Alex. You're late. Thank you for reminding me yet again. I'm trying to forget about this.
Just keep commenting it now.
No.
But, all right, what are your thoughts on this Falcons-Steelers game?
I mean, Steelers defense, they looked as advertised. Offensively, Fields wasn't terrible. He also wasn't the greatest. They need to figure out how to run the football. I need to pull up the rushing stats from that game.
For the Steelers?
Yes.
I have it right here.
I'm pulling up the game stats to look at here. So, Najee Harris carried the ball 20 times and mustered up 70 yards.
Tyler.
Yes, Sam.
Look at the comment.
Alex, you're banned. So, Justin Fields, he took the ball himself a couple of times, 14 carries, 57 yards. He completed 17 out of 23 passes for 156 yards, no touchdowns, didn't throw any interceptions. They didn't turn the ball over either.
He managed the game.
They did manage the game. They had 35 minutes of time of possession compared to the Falcons' 24. They were heavily penalized, actually. 9 penalties for 60 yards. But, the defense got 2 sacks. They were some pretty big sacks. They were 8 for 17 on third down conversions. The Falcons were 2 for 9. So
they forced 2 turnovers.
Yeah. I mean, the Steelers ran for more yards than they passed. So, and that was a difference of 4. I'm really surprised that the Falcons didn't run the ball more. You have Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier for what? And you're only going to have 89 rushing yards? That the math isn't mathing right there. Bijan carried the ball 18 times for 68 yards. Actually, kind of worse than Najee Harris, you can argue. Tyler Algier, though, had 3 carries for 21 yards.
7 yards.
I'm gonna say a hot take here. Coming from last season as well, I think Tyler Algier's a better ground game runner than Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan Robinson's a better dual threat, but I think Tyler Algier is the better runner.
There's no disagreement here. Another thing I'm going to say, I think that the Falcons' offensive line was elite when they had game-managing quarterbacks that got rid of the football at a split second. Now that there's a quarterback back there that wants to hang on to the ball a little more, they may struggle a little bit. Because that Steelers pass rush they were all over the place on Sunday.
They were. The defense is as advertised.
It's always going to be as advertised. Kirk Cousins was just getting hit. He only got sacked twice, yes. Oh my God, more breaking news. Bears first-round wide receiver Rome Odunze has a sprained MCL and will be considered week to week.
Wow.
Man. What is going on around the league right now? He's a guy
who did not have a good debut. Now, I'm assuming he probably got hurt early in the game because I think his stat line, he only had like 1 or 2 catches. So he definitely had to have got hurt early on.
Yeah, well, the Bears' offense didn't play well at all.
Nah. But we all knew that Falcons and Steelers game was going to be a toss-up.
The Falcons lost to a kicker. Let's just go with that.
They did. They also didn't play the game well. They did not. They should have ran the ball more. Not sure why they didn't.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, moving on here. Falcons, Jesus. Vikings, 28, Giants, 6.
Oh, man. So,
what's it?
For the first week so far, I'm going to give Sam Darnold some credit.
He played well.
It was the Giants, but he played well. He threw 1 interception. That's all right. That's fine.
And it was all because he got his arm hit.
Yeah. But he managed the game. He played well, gave them a shot to win, and they won. They blew him out.
Aaron Jones is still that dude.
Aaron Jones is that dude. If you thought Aaron Jones was going to the Vikings to die, no.
Hi, Packers. How's that feeling?
Yeah. You got the worst running back.
And Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Daniel Jones needs to... I don't even know what Daniel Jones needs.
We have a comment war going on. I'm just watching it unfold. Just keep it clean, gentlemen.
Clean fight.
We can have you both on an episode to duel it out one day. And there was a pun intended there.
I get it.
But anyway, Dolphins 20, Jacksonville 17. You know, I hate to say this about Jack. 20-17.
Oh, yeah.
Jags blew a 14. They were up 14-0. They were up 14-0 and 17-7.
There was a lot of one-possession games.
The only thing I'm going to say, David talking about his Bears with a Doomsday. Yeah, hopefully they get him back healthy soon. Hopefully it's only a week or 2.
Yeah. But, I mean, Bears still got a lot of weapons.
The only thing I'm going to say about this Jags game, Doug Peterson may be on the hot seat if they continue to play like this.
Yep. Because, well, what did you say? You thought that without Calvin Ridley, it was going to be different.
They look worse.
And I'm not seeing a difference. They look the same to me. Oh my gosh.
They look.
So apparently they're doing Travis Etienne. He didn't win the running back one job. They are a tandem running back of him and Bigsby.
Oh my god.
Which hold on, isn't his don't they is his nickname Tank Bigsby?
That's his name, dude.
Yeah. Well, his name on
Yeah.
Google shows up as Cartavius Bigsby, but he goes by Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, exactly. All
so,
right.
Yeah.
So, Jacksonville's in trouble right now because
they are. Gabe Davis led the receiving yards with 3 catches, which that's the most Gabe Davis stat line ever. Brian Thompson Jr. Who is Brian Thompson Jr.?
Let's get out LSU.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tyler, I apologize. Burnsy, Christian McCaffrey has now been downgraded to out. He is not playing tonight.
Don't give me hope, Burnsy. There is no hope.
All right. Next up, shock of the week. New England going into Cincinnati and shutting down the Bengals offense 16-10. How about Gerard Mayo getting his first coaching win in week 1?
Man, we crapped on the Patriots a lot.
No, hold on. I said they would not win a lot of games, but I said they would not go. They would be a pain in your ass.
I did give them a 6 wins this year.
I gave them less, but I said they were going to be annoying.
Still could hold up, but they honestly shocked me. I don't think people saw them winning week 1. I really don't think people saw them winning week 1.
So for all those people that are like, oh, we're concerned about the Eagles, can we talk about the Bengals for a minute now?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
They got 2 wide receivers that have no contracts. They've got a quarterback who looked like he looked like he was coming back from an injury. They did not play well on Sunday, and I'd be a little concerned about that.
Nope. Ramondre Stevenson, still that guy.
Oh, he's a mon. I love Ramondre.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we got Bills beating the Cardinals 34-20.
Add on to the Bengals that I think they're going to miss Joe Mixon a lot.
Agreed. Zach Moss is good. He's not Joe Mixon.
Nope.
Bills snuck by the Cardinals 34-28. This is a good game.
That game was insane.
Oh, it was.
They gave them such a fight. Like, I don't think the Bills were prepared for the Cardinals.
No.
And you know what's the most impressive part? They did it, and they couldn't even get Marvin Harrison Jr. going.
No, yeah, 1 catch.
1 catch for 4 yards. He got McBride. He had 5 catches for 30. Greg Dortch, 6 for 47. James Conner out the backfield, 33 yards.
So undervalued in this league.
He is. He really is.
He is so good.
And Kyler Murray, 21 for 31, 162 yards and a touchdown. Not the highest passing totals, but efficient.
Yeah. And on the Bills side, Josh Allen, he did. I will agree with Georgia. He had Harrison deep down the field in the end zone with no one near him, and he missed him completely.
Missed him, yeah. And that's the thing. No one ever said Kyler had the best arm.
Georgie, I don't think that's to do. All right, Georgie, that's messed up. No, Georgie, I don't think it was that he didn't watch the film. I don't think he could see over his offensive line to throw it that deep.
Honestly, that's a legitimate concern. Like, now, he's what, 5'9", 5'10", maybe?
He's like 5'8".
Yeah, he's not that tall.
He's a very short
your
man.
Offensive lineman might be close to 6'8".
He's 5'10", yes. Now, on the Bills side, Josh Allen did play pretty well. 18 of 23, 232, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he accounted for 4 total touchdowns. Josh
Allen, if he could have the game like this or similar to this every week, then that puts him in a territory for MVP conversation. And even being able to compete in the postseason if he can play like that. That is an extremely efficient game. Didn't turn the ball over. He contributed on the ground and through the air. Did he fumble?
He had one fumble loss.
Okay, so then the fumbles are still there for him. That's always been a concern. But at least the interceptions weren't. If you turn the ball, if you fumble the ball once, it's gonna happen. But man, that Keon Coleman, he might actually turn out to be a good receiver for him.
I think he will be. First, just want to say a nice shout out to Carol, our new commenter, saying that she just wants to say hi. Her first time playing fantasy football has her watching shows just like ours, and also says, "Go Birds." Thank you, Carol.
Welcome. We love fantasy football. So you got any questions, need any advice? Except for if you had CMC tonight, I can't help you out with that. I'm in the same boat. I'm screwed. It's over.
Oh, Anthony just broke some news. I'm going to have to go look.
Uh-oh.
We'll have to go look at that at the end of the show.
Homework for later.
But real quickly again, just for Miss Carol, thank you for tuning in to 609 Sports Talk. We're live here every Monday at 5:30. So any football related questions, we're always happy to answer.
Conklin?
Yes, Conklin in the game tonight.
Nice.
The Jets tight end.
Conklin's like very, very reliable. Very reliable tight end.
Yeah, but that Niners defense is good.
It is, yeah, because especially if you have Fred Warner on him most of the game, that's going to be tough.
That is going to be tough. Next game, we're going to move on to the Texans. Snuck by the Colts by 2 points, 29-27. C.J. Stroud went 24 of 32 for 234 yards with 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 30 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah. Hey, Cincinnati. How's it going?
Yeah, honestly. Nico Collins added 6 catches for 117 yards.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs caught 6 passes for 33 yards, including 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. It's so crazy. He's the only receiver that had 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins over here. I feel like that's the story with Nico Collins. I feel like he actually doesn't get a lot of touchdowns. Like, that's his fantasy thing. He will get so many freaking yards and catches, but he won't get the end zone.
Anthony's down 9 points tonight with only the Jets kicker. So you say there's a chance.
9 points? Oh, dude, there's a chance.
That's doable.
Jake Elliott, I mean, you don't got no Jake Elliott, but Jake Elliott got me 10 points on Friday.
Me too. Anthony Richardson, again for the Colts, was only 9 of 19 for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also ran the ball 6 times for 56 yards and 1 touchdown. And I believe Alec Pierce totaled in 3 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown.
Imagine you only throw the ball 9 times and you have 212 yards.
And I will say Richardson looked really good this week. I'm glad that he looked healthy.
Oh, yeah. Definitely glad he's healthy. I think he'll improve on that stat line. Trust me.
Yeah.
If he's only throwing 20 passes and completing 9, I mean, yeah, that's 50% about. That's not the greatest. That can improve. 200 yards, though, off of that is very impressive. 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception. But I think the Colts' future is looking bright. If he has a healthy year this year.
It just all depends on the health of Anthony Richardson. That's it.
Yep.
It all depends on his health. If he's healthy, they're in good shape.
Who is Alec Pierce?
I don't know, but that dude's a monster.
He might be a week 1 waiver pickup, actually.
A week 1 waiver pickup.
I think a lot of people might pick him up off of waivers. I mean, 3 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown? Yeah, I think so.
Well, I may need a quarterback. I may have to drop a wide receiver.
The guy that everyone was drafting, Michael Pittman, 4 catches for 31 yards. Yeah, that's nothing to slump about, but
like, I expect more.
Yeah, I'll take the upside. 3 for 125. If I got to stash him for a week, I got a running back or 2 I can drop off my bench.
Yeah, honestly, right? I'm going to have to put some waiver claims in here.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to have to find a quarterback for a couple weeks because
man, I don't know if I can trust Kirk. That's scary right there.
Actually, I'm glad Anthony brings this up because we are moving on to that game now. Bears beat the Titans 24-17 without scoring an offensive touchdown. And that Bears offense looks terrible.
Yes. And honestly, can this finally be the moment that we say that Justin Fields wasn't the problem?
Oh, it was far from it.
Can we finally get to that point that we can admit that Justin Fields was scapegoated?
Yeah.
Justin Fields had a better game as a substitution because Russell Wilson couldn't suit up week 1. And he put up a better stat line.
Well, you were just talking about Anthony Richardson, 9 for 19 for 212. Caleb Williams was 14 of 29. He only threw for 9.
Didn't even get 100 yards.
He threw for 93.
This Bears offense, I don't even know what coaching changes have the Bears made in the past 3 years.
None.
Like, their offense is so stale and stagnant. There's no offense.
No.
When are you going to move the ball down the field? You have DeAndre Swift now, DJ Moore, drafted Caleb Williams. You have Khalil Herbert on the bench as well. You have Keenan Allen. When Romo Dunes is back from being injured, he was a first-round pick. You have Cole Kmet. Like, when are you going to move the ball down the field? What is your plan for moving the ball? Because 93 yards, that is awful.
That's terrible.
I don't care about the zero touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Hey, he didn't turn the ball over. That's fine. But
that's great.
Not even 100 yards. What are you doing?
I'm glad Georgie thinks just like us.
Justin Fields is far from the problem.
No, Georgie, I'm not jumping the shark yet, but that is a bad game for a guy who I was people have been crowning since he was drafted.
And honestly, I was always saying during the draft that the Bears, they should have kept Fields and they could have drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. But guess what? It honestly probably wouldn't have made a difference because with the coaching staff they have right now, they don't know how to play offense. They don't know how to draw up any plays that are more than 2 yards. So what difference is it going to make? They already have all these weapons still, and even they were able to come out with Roma Dunes and still nothing.
Great. Biggest highlight of the Bears defense was TJ Edwards totaling 15 tackles and a 4th fumble recovery. Man, do I miss him.
That a boy.
Damn you, Howie.
Love to hear it. It is sad.
Next up, we have the worst game of the week. Saints defeating the Panthers 47-10. I would like to discredit what I said about the Panthers, and I would like to expedite them from the league.
Sam, thank you.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
I'm trying to remember something. Didn't you put the Panthers with more wins than the Saints?
Yes. Yeah. Bryce Young. No, hold on. First of all, the Saints still stink. They're getting rolled next week in Dallas right now. Bookmark this. They will lose by 2 touchdowns in Dallas, just so you know that one.
They probably will.
I said the Panthers would improve if Bryce Young improves. Clearly he hasn't.
Well, he at least threw for more than 93 yards. He also threw 2 interceptions.
He threw 2 picks. The Bears are using chalkboards on the sideline drawing shit as the game went along. Georgie probably draws up better plays for Bryce's team than the Bears do.
Were they playing? Maybe they were playing like Madden Mobile on their phone, and just whatever plays popped up on there, they were going with the coach suggestion.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about the Saints and the Panthers game anymore. I'm not going too deep into that.
Well, hold on, real quick. Let's just acknowledge something for Week 1. There's 2 things to acknowledge for Week 1, right? Derek Carr. 19 for 23, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then you had, what I tell you about Rashid Shaheed, man. I thought Chris Olave was the best receiver on that team, but I don't know. Shaheed competes really hard. He might actually come for that number 1 spot. And then Alvin Kamara, I know it was just 1 week, but hey, he put up a good stat line. He looked good. He didn't look like a ghost of what he once was.
And the Saints defense, they played pretty solid.
Panthers need to give Bryce Young more playing in the preseason. All the vets needed. Cutting a preseason game hurt the NFL. It did, but even though they cut one game, a lot of teams still don't play their starters at all. They should at least play them in one game. Like, you got to get yourself prepared, or if not, then week one's essentially your get ready game. So if you lose week one, you just gotta chalk it up like, oh well, hopefully we'll get them next week.
Great.
So I mean, hey, that's on the teams that lost week one. If their guys didn't look prepared, that's on them for not starting their starters in preseason.
100% agreed. I thought it was.
Eagles looked like they were a little lost out there too in the first couple of drives. So, there's definitely a correlation to it. So what game we got next?
Well, let's roll through. We have 5 more games here. Let's roll through these real quick so we can get to the Monday night pregame because we're heading on to the 2-hour mark already. Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10. And now, if you don't mind, I'd like to take the reins on this one.
Go ahead.
The Chargers did exactly what I told you they were going to do. Just real quick, George said most of the vets only play half the preseason because they have 94 guys and have 3 weeks to slice to 53. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Chargers, right? Yep. I still don't believe Justin Herbert is fully healed from the foot injury he had in training camp. Chargers defense tallied, I believe, 2 turnovers. They forced 2 turnovers. I know 3 turnovers in this game.
Oh, Joey Bosa had a sack.
They had, as a team, they had 4.
Oh, Khalil Mack had 1.5.
Yeah. The interception came from Poona Ford, who is a 310-pound defensive tackle. That's funny. Justin Herbert was 17-26 for 144 yards and a touchdown. Before people jump down my throat about Justin Herbert, I still think he's nursing that foot injury. But if you take out Justin Herbert's 4 rushing attempts, the Chargers threw the ball 26 times on Sunday and ran it 23. J.K. Dobbins tallied 10 carries for 135 yards and a touchdown. Gus Edwards tallied 11 carries for 26 yards. Thanks, Gus. Real big numbers there, buddy. And then wide receiver Darius Davis had 2 rushes for 9 yards. This is what the Chargers are now going to adopt. They're going to run the football and pass the football at an equal rate. They're going to take pressure off of Justin Herbert. The offense may not look sexy, but guess what? It will win you football games.
Yeah.
Everything I told you guys Jim Harbaugh was going to do for the Chargers, he did in week 1.
Yeah. And aside from the Raiders not being able to convert a lot, because they matched the Chargers in yards. Gardner Minshew had a solid game, 25 for 33, 257, threw a touchdown and an interception. The run game isn't that good. They didn't even run for 100 yards. But they got a lot of their receivers in the passing game. Jacoby Myers, 3 for 61. Devontae Adams, 5 for 59. I know fantasy owners are probably sad about that. Bowers, 6 for 58. So,
hey, he had 6 for 58. Damn, he outdid McBride this week. Damn it. Next up, Seahawks beat Broncos 26-20. Didn't watch one highlight of this game.
Nope.
I guess Bo Nix looked like crap through 2 picks.
What did I say? I'm sorry, Sam. Maybe he can get it together. It's only week 1, right? Maybe he can get it together. But Geno Smith had a more efficient game, 18 for 25, 171, a touchdown, interception. Kenneth Walker's just that guy.
Well, Kenneth Walker's is a madman.
Yeah. They call him K9.
Julian Love and Tariq Woolen both had interceptions. Seahawks had a solid game.
Wow, Tariq Woolen had an interception. Nice.
Hopefully they can get him back going what he does.
They need it.
Bernsey said if Malik starts more than 2 games, the Packers are going to fall behind very quick in the NFC North. I'd be surprised if Love isn't back by the Vikings game. Honestly, I agree.
Yeah.
Next up, Buccaneers blowout Commanders 37-20. Washington Commanders rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels went 17 of 24 for 184 yards. He had no touchdowns or interceptions. He did fumble 3 times. He did not lose any of them, though. He also tallied 16 carries for 88 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
So this game from the Commanders, it showed a lot of promise for him. They need to find a way to incorporate Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler into the game more. Because, I mean, we know what Austin Eckler's capable of. He only had 2 carries for 10 yards. That is not okay. He did have 4 catches for 52.
Yeah. I think, and even Robinson had 12 for 40, but even he had 3 catches.
Yeah, their running backs had more catches and yards than the receivers. Terry McLaurin, anybody? Anthony? Question mark?
Yeah, Anthony. Where, wide receiver 1, Terry McLaurin, where's he at?
2 for 17. Luke McCaffrey had more catches and yards than him.
And he will be the most productive McCaffrey this week.
Damn you, Sam. How could you?
All I'm going to say is we may have to rethink how good this Bucs team may still be.
This Bucs team is good.
Baker Mayfield, man, what a story. 24 of 30, 289, 4 passing touchdowns, 2 to Mike Evans, 1 to Jalen McMillan, and 1 to Penn State alum Chris Godwin. Hey, you motherfucker, he's on my bench.
Godwin back. Yep, Godwin's back. Evans is still doing what he does, red zone target.
Bucs defense had a couple sacks.
The Bucs look very solid. The Bucs are going to win their division.
See, here's the difference, right? And real quickly, so Burns said Bo Nix will improve and play better. He'll bounce back. It's the first game as a rookie, and most of the time, rookies struggle the first game. I wasn't expecting a perfect game from the Broncos. Nobody should.
Yeah. Same
one thing I'll
Caleb
say,
Williams. Hopefully they get it put together.
The Falcons, everyone's picking the Falcons because, they added Cousins. They added Judon. They added Simmons. The Bucs kept the same group together that won that division last year. Mm-hmm. Team chemistry means something.
It does.
The Bucs still may be the favorite for this division. Final 2 games. Cowboys decimate Cleveland Browns 33-17. This has nothing to do with the suit that was just filed about a half hour ago. This has nothing to do with that. Based off, did you watch this game?
Which one?
The Cowboys and Browns game. Did you watch any of it?
Cowboys, Browns. I did watch it. I was really hoping to see the Browns, deliver that upset to them.
Adam, Clint, I'm sorry. Deshaun Watson just may suck.
Yeah.
Without Nick Chubb, that offense is lost.
The offense is lost. They don't have an identity without Nick Chubb.
They don't. Their defense was atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, but even Zadarius Smith got a sack. Garrett got a sack.
They got put in bad situations.
They did.
Because let's be real here. Dak didn't play amazing. He was 19 of 32 for 179 and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
He wasn't amazing.
They didn't even
Cowboys run game
throw it either.
What was that?
The Cowboys, they only had 102 rushing yards.
Well, we know their rushing yards, their rushing offense stinks. And CeeDee Lamb was their leading receiver with 61 yards.
Yeah. It just came down to Deshaun Watson turning the football over. And they couldn't
You want to talk about having a week 1. How about Eric Kendrick? 9 total tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception.
Oh, man. I have to go eat crow on everything that I said about him.
Cowboys had 6 sacks and 2 turnovers forced in this game.
I thought Kendricks was washed up. Prove me wrong.
And then we have our last game of week 1 on Sunday. Sunday Night Football, Lions 26-20 over the Rams in overtime. This just showed one of two things. The Lions are still one of the best teams in the NFC, and the Rams are going to be one of the best teams in the NFC because these are 2 heavyweights duking it out against each other.
Matthew Stafford. I think he's the only quarterback that threw for over 300 yards in week 1.
He threw the ball 50 times.
Yeah, so you would hope so. But they looked really good. Cooper Kupp is back. Yeah,
Jameson
Jameson
Williams had a
Williams
hell of a game.
he's just gonna add on to the freaking Sam Laporta and Amon Ra, even though Amon Ra had a quiet game. I'm assuming he was probably getting a lot of attention from the defense.
Of course.
But you
David
still
Montgomery.
gotta get your main guy open though, man.
You do.
But
Montgomery.
hey, Jameson Williams isn't complaining.
Nope. Montgomery, 17 of 91, 1 touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 for 40 with a touchdown. Also had 4 for 34. The unfortunate thing, though, right now is that Rams offensive line, they're beat the hell up. They lost, their starting right tackle was out. They lost 2 other linemen during the game.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford cannot win when it comes to an offensive line.
Unfortunately not. But hey, they played a good game. I thought they were going to pull out the win. I don't know what happened late after I had stopped watching it. I thought they had the game locked up, but apparently not. Ended up going into overtime. They lost.
Yep. Now let's preview Monday Night Football. Jets at 49ers. Tyler, what are our thoughts on this game?
Now I was peeping our little comment war earlier between Georgie and Matt, and the basis of it was one thought it was always a shoe-in for the 49ers to win. The other one said that it could have gone either way. I think it could have gone either way. Before CMC was just announced as inactive, I think both teams are very well tooled. I'm not gonna talk anything bad on Aaron Rodgers until I actually see that he can't play football anymore.
Yeah.
He's probably the best quarterback of the generation behind Tom Brady. I'm not going to say nothing on him until he goes out on the field and shows me he can't play no more. So the fact that you got that, you got Garrett Wilson, Brees, that defense, I mean, they both have great defenses. It's a very evenly matched up team on both sides. But now with CMC being out, this changes a lot. They don't have Mitchell. He's on IR. So they're relying on the guy who was trying to beat out Mitchell in training camp and whoever else is also on the roster for them as well. I don't even know who their other running backs are. They got their wideouts. They got their quarterback of the future, Brock Purdy.
Well,
the pressure's on now.
I was going to say, let's see Brock Purdy now without CMC, and we'll talk.
I always like to say, I still don't think Brock Purdy, he's a good game manager. I still believe a lot of his success is because of how good CMC is. Without him,
I agree.
And without Elijah Mitchell, Shanahan and Purdy are going to have a lot on their plate. So you got your guy Ayuk locked up. You got, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trent Williams going to be out there. Let's see what y'all got. If you lose to the Jets, don't make the excuse, it's because CMC got hurt. Well, guess what? Players can get hurt. You got to win games without them.
Oh, my God. Jason Kelce's
career. He hasn't had a clean bill of health all the time. There might be a few games he misses. You got to be able to make it through.
Agreed. Here's some funny news. Jason Kelce is wearing a dress shirt he had to buy at a San Francisco mall today because his first week of Monday Night Countdown, he forgot his travel bag.
Oh, my gosh. Good job,
Kelce. By the way, by watching that game, the Cowboys game, also, by the way, Tom Brady, worst commentator ever.
Oh, man.
Come out of retirement, Tom.
Come back. The Packers need you.
Go quit your day job.
Oh, but the Patriots don't need Tom. The Bucks don't need Tom.
The Raiders need Tom.
The Raiders definitely need Tom.
All right, so what are some keys to victory for these teams tonight?
Oh, keys to victory. We all know that the 49ers' focal point of their offense is running the football well. They're going to be forced to throw the ball a lot tonight against a tough Jets secondary. Brock Purdy's going to have to play the best game of his career in order to come out with a win because it's going to be him, his receivers, not much help from the running backs. I mean, I think that one kid that's going to end up getting the start tonight, he might do solid. I wish I was able to pick him up in fantasy right now because I actually think he would do solid. Um, but the key to victory is going to be Brock Purdy for the 49ers. He has to play a perfect game. He can't make mistakes because they will capitalize that Jets defense. And even if there aren't no pick sixes and stuff like that, guess what? You give the ball to Rodgers in good field position, they're scoring on you.
Yep.
And the Jets team, as far as I know, they're coming in pretty healthy. Defense is pretty healthy. Still can't get a deal with Hassan Reddick.
I don't know what they're doing with him at all.
Yeah, the offense looks healthy. Receivers look ready. Brees Hall's always ready. Get it done.
All right, so Tyler, who do you got winning tonight's game, and give me a player of the game? Now, real quickly, for when we did the Birds of the Gridiron pregame, we did one side of the ball each. Do you want to do that, or do you want?
Yeah, let's do it. I like that.
All right, so who you got winning? Who are your players of the game?
Defensively, I got Sauce Gardner. I'm calling I think he's going to have a pick tonight, a couple of pass deflections. I think he'll probably be on Ayuk a lot, and I think he's going to give Ayuk a hard time tonight. Offensively, I'm going. So are we only doing players for who we think we're gonna win? Because I think the Jets are gonna win. Yeah. I think the Jets are gonna win. Offensive player of the game, I'm calling it out right now. Aaron Rodgers. Do I think Brees Hall is gonna have a big game? Yes, I do. Do I think that Garrett Wilson's gonna have a big game? Yes, I do. But I think the story is gonna be Aaron Rodgers, his first full game back. He might be actually the second quarterback of Week 1 to sling for 300.
Oh, that's tough.
It is tough because they are going to run the ball a lot too. But I think Rodgers is going to have a really good game. Rodgers is probably one of the only quarterbacks smart enough to be able to try to pick apart a good defense like the 49ers defense. And we're going to have to see that 49ers defense without Eric Armstead. Got to see how they look.
That is true.
Got to see how that pass rush looks. We know what Nick Bosa can do. I need to see what Hargrave can do now in the middle without Armstead.
Especially against the run.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
did you give a score?
It's going to be a good game. Oh, score? I think it's going to be heavily defensive. So I'm going to go 20-14. Jets win.
Right. I'm going to go 23-17. Jets win. Defensive player of the game, I'm going to go with Mr. All Reliable, DJ Mosley, 12 total tackles. And then offensively, I'm going to go 100-yard game from Garrett Wilson. I think this is the game that Garrett Wilson comes out and says, did y'all really forget how good I really am when I have a quarterback? So that's my keys to – those are our predictions for Jets Niners. And now before we head out of here for the night, let's run down week 2 of college football. Now we're only going to talk about the AP top 25 teams. And we'll start off here with our Penn State Nittany Lions, who Mr. Adams, Mr. Alex Smith, and I were greatly privileged to go watch live for the first time. Great experience to go to Happy Valley.
Electric environment.
So that was a good one as well. Carol says she has to go. Kelsey's on TV. Good luck tonight. Carol, you too. Thank you.
See Kelsey.
Thank you for tuning in with us again.
Enjoy the game and good luck with your fantasy tonight.
So to start off our college football recap, Penn State barely gets by Bowling Green, 34-27. Number 23, Georgia Tech was upset 31-28 to Syracuse. Texas destroyed number 10, Michigan, 31-12. I think Michigan is just in a very big transition year.
Yeah.
Losing all those players. And
their coach.
Oklahoma State barely gets by Arkansas 39-31 in double overtime.
Wow.
Number 17, Kansas State outlasts Tulane 34-27. There are a lot of teams that really almost got upset this weekend.
Man.
Number 1, Georgia continues to roll as they defeat Tennessee Tech 48-3. Number 5, Notre Dame. This is why I can't take these sons of bitches seriously. Get heartbroken 16-14 by Northern Illinois.
Ooh. That's rough.
Iowa State upsets number 21 Iowa 20-19. Number 11 Utah beats out Baylor 23-12. Number 22 Louisville destroys Jacksonville State 49-14. Number 6 Ole Miss defeats Middle Tennessee 52-3. Number 12 Miami defeats Florida A&M. That's a made-up school. Don't tell me I'm lying. 56-9. There's no way there's a Florida A&M. There's just no way that's possible. And number 9 Missouri defeated Buffalo 38-0. Number 4 Alabama defeated South Florida 42-16. Number 19 Kansas was upset 23-17 by Illinois. Number 2 Ohio State defeated Western Michigan 56-0. Number 18 LSU defeated Nicholas State 44-21. That's another made-up school. Don't tell me I'm lying. Number 14 Tennessee defeated number 24 NC State 51-10. Here's another good one. Number 15 Oklahoma outlasts Houston 16-12. Number 25 Clemson defeated Appalachian State 66-20. Number 20 Arizona defeated Northern Arizona, another made-up school, 22-10. Number 7 Oregon gets by Boise State 37-34, and number 13 USC defeated Utah State 48-0. And for the Week 3 AP Top 25, Georgia remains at number 1. Texas jumps into number 2. Ohio State moves back to number 3. Alabama stays at number 4. Ole Miss is now sitting at 5. Missouri moves up to 6. Tennessee is at 7. Penn State stays at 8, entering their bye week. Oregon sits at number 9. Miami moves up to number 10. USC moves up to number 11. I believe that's the University of Houston, or is that Oklahoma?
Is it UH? What is it?
Wait, hold on. Oh, no, wait. This may be the wrong AP. Hold on a second. I don't think I have the wrong freaking one here, do I? Give me 1 second. I'll make sure I have the right list.
While you look that up, I just want to say something about Texas real quick. They're going to be competing in the college football playoffs this year. They might make their way to the championship game. They have so many talented pieces on offense and defense. You're going to see a lot of draft picks coming from there within the first 3 rounds. A lot in the first round, probably too.
Agreed. All right, so this was the right AP I had. It was Utah. That's number 12. Oklahoma State is at 13. I believe Northwestern is at 14. Is that right? Or that's wow. Kansas State. I'm sorry. No, that's Kansas State. I'm sorry. Oklahoma is 15. Some of these damn schools have the logos look damn near identical. Like Oklahoma and Utah look damn near the same, but Oklahoma's at 15. LSU stands at 16. Michigan drops all the way down to 17. Notre Dame drops to 18. Louisville is at 19. Arizona State at 20. Iowa State moved into the top 25 with that upset over Iowa. They are now at 21. Clemson State at 22. Nebraska, I believe, moved into number 23. Boston College moved in to the top 25 at 24, and rounding out at number 25, it was Northern Illinois with their upset of Notre Dame. So that is Week 3 college football. Northern Illinois is in the top 25.
Man, Northern Illinois. Go something. I don't even know what they are. Go something.
You know, I was going to come into the show and I was going to say I thought Penn State deserved to lose a couple spots because of how they played against Bowling Green. There were a lot of teams that played a lot worse than Penn State.
True, that is true.
I think Penn State deserves to stay at 8.
Yeah,
Penn State's
they
playing
still
good.
won.
Yep, 2-0 to start the year. Drew Aller's starting to look really good. Nick Singleton is a special running back. And Penn State's 2-0. That's all I have to care about. Penn State's 2-0. But, Tyler, do we have anything else tonight for the people?
That's about it for me. Go Birds. Let's fly. I'm ready for week 2.
And we'll be here, ready to talk some Eagles football for Monday night next week. So, guys, want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Want to thank everybody over on YouTube, of course. Anthony always chiming in. But I want to thank everybody tonight on Facebook. You guys blew that chat up tonight. It was a blast of a comment section. I want to thank Georgie, Matt, Dennis, Carol, Bernsey, Steven, Alex. I think that's everybody, right?
I think so.
But anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Georgie's in here one more time, and he wants to say that Studs is the reason that CMC went down. Georgie, everything is Studs' fault. Don't we know this by now? Oh, I don't want to hear Studs talk about Deshaun Watson this week either. Oh man.
Oh man.
You had to tune in the Dueling Aces tonight to hear that. Which, guys, that starts right around tonight. So go check out our friends Georgie, Zolt, Adam, and all of them on their Dueling Aces show. They are usually on right after us. So go check them out tonight. 15 minutes to Dueling Aces. So they'll be on around 8 o'clock. So look at that. You get your midday cap and your nightcap. Look at that. But, guys, want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Oh, Studs drafted Christian McCaffrey. Oh, that's why he's out injured.
Me too.
But, guys, thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. Thank you for giving us all those comments tonight. We appreciate the support. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to make 609 Sports Talk one of the best sports talk shows out there. So, have a good rest of your night. Enjoy Monday Night Football, and we'll see you guys next week. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Go Birds. Good night, everybody.